Every now and then, a piece of technology comes along that doesn't just nudge things forward, it completely rewrites the rules. And right now, we're in one of those moments. We're talking about OpenClaw. It's a technology that has absolutely exploded onto the scene, creating this new frontier, one that's packed with both incredible opportunity and a whole lot of chaos. And look, don't just take my word for it. This quote isn't from me, it's from a user who actually got their hands on it. And it just perfectly nails the feeling, doesn't it? It's that really rare sense of seeing the future just land right in front of you. This isn't just another app. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we're all going to interact with AI. And frankly, the business world is just now starting to wake up to what's happening. And when I say it exploded, I really, really mean it. Just look at this timeline. OpenClaw launches in late January. 72 hours later, 3 days, it has over 150,000 stars on GitHub. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, that's how developers vote on what's important, and getting a number that high, that fast, it's basically unheard of. And then just a couple of weeks later, boom, acquired by OpenAI. That is validation at literal lightning speed. So what is this thing, really? Well, for the C-suite, the easiest way to get your head around it is this. Think of it like a Jarvis from the movies, but for your business. It's an AI assistant that doesn't just live in some little chat window on the side. No, it has access to your files, your browser, your code, and it talks to you through the tools your team is already using all day, every day. Slack, email, you name it. The potential for automation here is just staggering. Okay, so if it's that powerful, why isn't every single company on the planet already using it? Well, that brings us to the first massive problem. Because there is an enormous, and I mean enormous, barrier to entry here that is keeping all of this revolutionary power locked away from most organizations. This is what it takes just to get it up and running. This is not a simple download and click install situation. Not even close. You need deep technical expertise. We're talking about specific versions of Node.js, Docker containers, provisioning cloud servers, security hardening. The list just goes on and on. This is not a job for your average IT department. You need a highly specialized skill set. And get this, that whole laundry list, that's the best case scenario. We're talking 2 to 3 hours for a highly skilled and, let's be honest, highly paid technical expert. And that's only if every single one of those 7 steps goes absolutely perfectly. In business terms, that is a huge investment of resources before you've seen a single drop of value. So what happens when things don't go perfectly? This quote is one of the most common things we hear from people who try. 3 hours down the drain and they just walk away. The complexity isn't just a hurdle. For most people, it's a solid brick wall. The potential return on investment is massive, but most companies can't even get off the starting line. And this one, wow. This really paints the picture, doesn't it? It shows you how determined some people are, but it also shows you why this is a nightmare for enterprise adoption. 12 hours and 5 complete server reinstalls? There is no way any business can scale a technology that takes this much brute force for a single installation. This complexity, it's the first great filter separating the winners from everyone else. But, okay, let's just say your team manages to clear that hurdle. They actually get it running. You'd think you're in the clear, right? Wrong. You've actually just walked straight into an even bigger minefield, because the complexity problem, it's nothing compared to the security problem. Look at this number, 135,000. That's how many active OpenClaw instances are right now exposed online. Over 135,000 of them. This is not some niche tool being used by a few developers in a basement. This is a massive, sprawling, and, as you're about to see, a largely unsecured digital landscape. And this chart really just says it all. Of those 135,000 instances, a staggering 63% of them are confirmed to be vulnerable. 63%! That's over 85,000 active, insecure AI agents connected to company systems, just sitting there, exposed to the entire internet. The number is absolutely jaw-dropping. So how on earth is this happening? Well, it all comes down to a dangerously simple default setting. Right out of the box, the system is basically set up to trust anyone who seems to be local. The problem is, a very common server setup can make every single attacker on the internet look local. It's basically the digital version of a security guard letting anyone into your building who just says, "Hey, I work here," without ever checking an ID. You're just handing over the keys to the kingdom. And if you thought that was bad, the attack surface just keeps getting bigger. See, OpenClaw's real power comes from its plugins, or skills that you get from a marketplace called Clawhub. Here's the catch. Anyone with a week-old GitHub account can publish a skill to it. There is zero security review, zero vetting. It is the absolute Wild West. And here's what happens in the Wild West. Security researchers recently uncovered a massive malware campaign they called Claw Havoc. Look at this. Skills with perfectly innocent names like Crypto Trader Pro or System Monitor were actually malware designed to steal your company's API keys and passwords, install keyloggers, and siphon out private data. These are not theoretical risks. This is real, active, malicious code being downloaded by thousands of unsuspecting users. So you see, the threat isn't just one-dimensional. It is coming at you from every single angle. You've got malicious plugins pretending to be useful tools. You've got invisible commands that can be hidden in routine emails that your AI assistant will just read and execute without question. And of course, you have sophisticated actors, even state-sponsored ones, targeting the absolute treasure trove of corporate data these agents can access. One of the top AI security researchers out there summed it up perfectly. He called it a lethal trifecta. Think about it. The agent has access to all your private data, it's constantly exposed to untrusted content from the outside world, and it has the power to send information back out. It is the absolute perfect storm for a catastrophic security breach. Now, I know after hearing all of that, the first, most natural reaction is probably to run for the hills, to just label this technology as way too complex, way too dangerous to even touch. But that reaction, that is exactly what creates the single biggest strategic opportunity on the table right now. Because these huge, scary barriers, the brutal setup process, and the terrifying security risks, they aren't just problems. For the smart organization, they are the opportunity. They create a competitive moat, a massive wall that is going to stop the vast majority of your competitors dead in their tracks. And this chart shows you exactly how that plays out. On one side, you have your competition. They're going to be completely paralyzed by all the complexity and risk. They'll either fail trying to implement it, or they'll be too scared to even start. And on the other side, you have the market leaders, the very few who figure out how to deploy this power securely and reliably. And the gap between them, it won't be a small advantage, it will be a chasm. So here's the bottom line. This is a winner-take-all scenario. The incredible difficulty of getting OpenClaw right means this isn't some tool that's going to be adopted evenly across the market. Not at all. The few organizations that actually master it won't just get a little productivity boost. No, they are going to build a deep, structural, and quite possibly insurmountable competitive advantage. So that leaves us with one final thought, one final question. A new gold rush has officially begun. The territory is dangerous, it's treacherous, it's filled with pitfalls. And the question for every single leader listening right now is simple. Is your organization equipped to navigate this new frontier and stake your claim? Or are you going to be left watching from the sidelines as your competition races ahead?